This article comes from Game Informer. It says, Cadence of Hyrule, rhythm-based Legend of Zelda title announced. It says, today at the Indies Showcase. It wasn't today, though. Sorry, guys. It was on the 20th. Nintendo revealed a semi-sequel / spin-off to the indie hit Crypt of the Necrodancer set in the Legend of Zelda universe, titled the incredibly wordy Cadence of Hyrule Crypt of the Necrodancer, featuring The Legend of Zelda. The game takes Necrodancer's gameplay and puts a Legend of Zelda skin over it in terms of music, monsters, and graphics in general. And yeah, it's a procedurally generated RNG type game, so don't expect some classic Zelda dungeons, other than maybe the assets and themes and that kind of thing. But Jess, let's see. The other thing that Jesse mentioned, tidbit of news from ZeldaUniverse.net, which is a pretty neat website, by the way. It says the pixel art for Cadence of Hyrule was handled by Sonic Mania artists. So, new information about Cadence of Hyrule is beginning to trickle out after the game's announcement earlier this week, and based on a tweet by Sonic Mania art director Tom Fry, it would appear that artists Midio, I don't know how to pronounce his name, and Paul Veer are involved with the pixel art for Cadence. Veer is the lead artist for Brace Yourself Games, the Canada-based... Oh yeah, they're based in Vancouver, by the way.
Heyo!
That's my hometown, boys. So, the Canada-based studio developing the game, both he and independent artist... I'm just going to call him Midio, I'm taking that leap of faith, produced artwork for Sonic Mania and also had their hands in the other official works, including the Sonic the Hedgehog 25th Anniversary Art Book and River City Ransom Underground. Respectively, more of their work can be found via their Tumblr page. People still use Tumblr?
I still use Tumblr.
Okay, Cadence of Hyrule is set for release on Nintendo Switch sometime this spring. If you haven't seen it yet, watch the reveal trailer and let us know what you think of this roguelike crossover. And that's the thing. I really like the look of this game, by the way, but I'm probably the original game big sales too. But I've been looking forward to and thinking about jumping into the original Crypt of the Necrodancer because of this. So,
yeah. So we had the interview a long time ago where Aonuma mentioned that they were looking for new ways or a new look, or however he described it, as like he wanted to evolve what a 2D Zelda game is. Do you think this is what he was hinting towards? Because it is technically evolved
right,
if you compare it to all of the other games, as it's like music and time based as opposed to just a straight up 2D Zelda game. But yeah,
but the gameplay, like the framework of the game, seems very much just a sequel, like a straight sequel of the Crypt of the Necrodancer, like the first game. So I don't know if it's so much of a evolution of 2D Zelda, so much as like a an amalgamation of Zelda and this other franchise kind of coming together. So I don't know if Aonuma had this kind of project in mind when he made those statements necessarily, but it could be. I mean, it's Nintendo. We can never say for sure because they hold their cards close to their chest and everything. You know, that's whatever. How does that phrase go? Keep their cards. They're secretive. That's what I mean.
All right, Choose.
Nailed it.
Since you're likely going to be sent out by Nintendo to talk about this game, what are your thoughts?
I'm sorry, what?
What? I said, since you're likely going to be sent out to talk about this game by Nintendo, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so we're gonna take that entire me and Nintendo bit and we're gonna put it over here because I don't know what happens with Nintendo.
I'm so curious now. Curiosity intensifies.
Yeah.
I know what you guys know. Anyways, on that note though, I think that this is a really exciting... I actually didn't realize that this was just like a reskinned version of this game. So that's really interesting. And like Daniel said, I'd love to go and revisit the original. And then that being said, like, I would love if they took notes from small independent developers like this. Like, this is a really cool idea. It's all rhythm based. It's like this awesome rhythm roguelike based game. So I'm all about that. And it also kind of goes in tune with like even like Blossom Tales. Like that was like a straight up nod to Legend of Zelda. And I know that like collectively we all really enjoyed that game. So yeah,
I think nod is even an understatement.
It is. They quite literally like just throw it right in there. Like they are not ashamed.
Yeah. Like part of me wonders if they made a Zelda game and Nintendo's like, you can't do that. And they're like, well, it's actually this new IP. And just
oops,
like,
did we say Zelda? We meant Lily.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
It's like
No, like so they're what?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, as far as like what like I would have to do in that role though, is like for the most part, I haven't really demoed a lot of indie games with Nintendo. Like at events that I've been to, we had Overcooked, and then we also had Celeste. I think that was the name of the game. People are all over that game, but we haven't really like I haven't seen a lot of that being incorporated into events yet. So it'd be really cool if they did. I'd be all over that. I'd want to demo the heck out of that game.
Do you not have any issues with it being like rhythm based, to where like you have to play everything to the beat?
No, not at all. I think for doing a demo of it, I would have issues with it though, because hearing things in a tent full of children doesn't happen. Like, you know, in Mario Party, how they have the rhythm-based games, those are a disaster to demo.
oh,
You cannot hear the rhythm. You are just like trying to stab to the best of your ability.
And is this a single player or is it multiplayer?
It
Looks
looks
single player.
single player.
But it'd be cool to have like a co-op for
Yeah.
the deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I really want, because you bring up a good point, especially like on a portable console, like the rhythm aspect of it, it would be really cool if they had HD Rumble worked into it somehow.
Yeah, right?
And just like even just like a little feel of the beat with that or something, you know, like even just really light. I think it would be really cool. You don't need to switch to be going bananas the whole time,
Yeah.
but we don't need the DK bongos. But
We don't need a code banana on our hands.
we don't need a code a banana.
No code bananas, please.
I'll just stretch my Donkey Kong socks out here.
Yeah.
Ooh, just normal stretching that I'm doing.
Can you get Donkey Kong out of here?
Oh, banana.
So it's interesting that, you know, Nintendo had the Hyrule Warriors as the first big Zelda spin-off that was in collaboration with another team. And there's the interviews from that team where they mentioned that Aonuma told them that they couldn't add in actual dungeons because they had to do something that Nintendo couldn't. And then with Mario Cross Rabbids, Miyamoto told Ubisoft that Mario was not allowed to jump in the game. Like, you are not allowed to press a button and have Mario jump. So with this game, do you think like there was any other odd requests from Miyamoto or Aonuma for this spin-off, or do you think it was just make your normal game and just put Zelda stuff in it?
That's a really good question, because like for it to be in a Nintendo Direct, like they must have had some sort of cahoots before they decided that they were going to be like, hey, this is a game that's coming out on the Switch, especially it being so alike to one of their IPs, right?
Yeah. Daniel?
Or maybe that's one of those things that as a developer they had to think about before they did it.
Yeah. It's... I'm waiting for the inevitable interview to come out after they release the game, to where they finally say like, yeah, we wanted to make it more like Zelda, but Nintendo didn't let us do this, or this. Like, I wonder if the regenerating dungeons or whatever it's called was.
Well, I did find one article actually, but I can't remember where I found it. But I should have linked you to it for this very reason.
Nice.
But that did mention that initially they conceived it as just a DLC pack to add Zelda characters into the original game.
I remember this.
And then Nintendo was like, well, wait, can we can build on this more, actually. And then they just kept going from there, and it just became a new game out of that. So, I mean, in a way, I guess they never conceived it initially as its own standalone title or sequel to the original. But like any game where they're like, oh, and any indie game, even just having Zelda characters as DLC pack would be a huge deal already. Like just that would be a big deal. The fact that they did that, they wanted to do that, and Nintendo was like, hang on, we can build a whole game out of this. This is great. That just like goes to show the potential of the gameplay style present in the first game. So
Yeah.
It's piqued my interest.
Now they just need to call up the Blossom Tales people.
Yeah.
Be like,
Yeah,
Oh, but
there you go.
it's already a
the
Zelda
reskin
game.
is
Sorry.
the reskin is probably what sealed the deal for having this game even come out on the Switch, though. That's what I'm thinking.
Probably. Retro in the chat says, what if you could play this game with a DDR pad?
No.
Oh gosh.
No. That's like someone mentioned Animal Crossing VR on Twitter the other day, and instantly, no. Why would you ruin my favorite game with VR?
There's the PlayStation game where they do that.
Oh yeah, the other Animal Crossing that isn't actually Animal Crossing.
Yeah, like you play as the ghost god person. And then
What?
yeah, like
This
it
was
was
at E3
missing
last
something.
year.
yeah, like everyone was like half passed out at E3, like on the couch and everything, and I was watching the PlayStation Direct, and I was like, that looks like Animal Crossing. But this is
Yeah,
PlayStation.
I came out from somewhere and you're like, Kayla, you're missing it. It's a new Animal Crossing. What? And I ran out and I'm like, Jesse, this isn't Animal Crossing.
Now I remember.
Yeah.
I just remember that part, actually.
It did look really cool though.
I was feeling ill that morning. So
Yeah, it was almost as if PlayStation was like, let's make an Animal Crossing game, and then halfway through development they're like, we can't do that. Like,
Wait,
what were you
can't make
thinking?
that?
And they were like, well,
Can't do that, can we?
yeah. It's almost like I remember whenever the original God of War first came out, the director was like, well, I was never going to have permission to make a Zelda game, so I just made my own mature Zelda game.
Mature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God of War is more like God of Boy, though, so.
Oh yeah.
Dad of Boy.
Especially now, Dad of Boy. And they both came out during the Game Awards, right? Do you remember? During the Game
Right.
Awards, they came out.
Oh! Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy and God.
Yeah. So the real question
AKA
here.
Judge.
Oh, the actors.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
Where in the
I'm slow.
Zaldor timeline does this game take place?
I want to say that the downfall timeline, just based strictly on the fact that Link and Zelda's designs are pulled right out of A Link Between Worlds.
Oh, I didn't expect a serious answer, but
That's
guess that
just like
works.
a real big shot in the dark. I'm just basically like throwing darts at a dartboard without looking at it. So,
yeah. You-
Valid.
but genuinely, that's my reasoning.
I mean, they could just like wake up at the end of it and then Link just be like, "What was that music?" the whole game's based around music. I don't know, but it looks cool. Can you guys, before we move on to the next topic, can you guys think of any like side spin-off games that you would like to see, like a collaboration with another studio and stuff? Like I had mentioned, Mother Tales. No, wait, God, what's the name of it?
What?
I said Mother Tales. That's not something.
You
Blossom
said,
Tales.
What is Blossom Tales? What
Yeah.
is Mother Tales?
I was thinking of
Ness shows up in
I was thinking, yeah. Exactly. No, so
like I figured DuckTales and then Mother
DuckTales.
combined.
Well, Zelda 2 is close to DuckTales.
And yeah, that's true. That's
Jesse, Jorge says you're still quiet.
Okay, how about now? I should be
I guess
louder.
we'll-
true. I don't know.
Do you mean like another Zelda related spin-off game or just in general a spin-off
Just
game?
like in general, like whether it's something that Nintendo and someone else is doing together, or an indie game or something, like just a if it's not a studio or a game that you would like to see it collaborate with, just like some bizarre type of Zelda game. Like this would have been a music-based Zelda spin-off. So,
but choose wisely, because we might will it into existence, like with the Tetris Battle Royale game that now exists and is actually really good. So.
We just need to cancel the podcast while we're ahead.
Still waiting on Pikmin Battle Royale. Oh no. But yeah, I mean, I guess the best way would be to really pull it into a completely new genre that we haven't seen Zelda in before. So yeah, in this case, kind of amalgamating a rhythm game in Hyrule Warriors. It was just an amalgamation of Zelda and hack and slash genre, right? So I don't know, like, I guess this is very tricky.
Hylia and Luke has a real... Oh, sorry. Continue.
Oh, no. No, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just looking. Hylia and Luke said a turn-based Zelda RPG. That'd be fun.
Yeah. And we've talked... I think we've mentioned this kind of idea before. But just imagine, you know, Link's your main fighter character in this party, and then you've got... Just the champions are, like, a great example. It doesn't have to be those actual characters, but they're a great example of what would be a really awesome turn-based RPG party to have.
Yes.
Just put all those guys together. You got Miph as your healer, Revali as your archer. You got Daruk's like your big heavy guy, who's probably very slow in comparison to the other characters.
Tank.
Or Bosa's your Tank.
He's your tank.
Oh, he's your tank. Yeah. Okay, fine. I thought you said tank. I'm like,
yeah.
Tank. I'm like, I need more context than just saying tank. But yeah, no, Urbosa is actually probably a pretty comparable fighter, who would also be, I imagine, a magic user based on Urbosa's Fury being her other signature move.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you've got a really cool cast of characters, and those are just plucking one character from each race in that Zelda game. So imagine all the potential of all the different Zelda races and stuff, of what kind of cool RPG party you can come up. Yeah, I really like that. Thank you, Hylia and Luke, for completely supplying my answer.
We're taking that answer. It's ours now.
We are hijacking that one.
Yeah, I think that would really work out well. Lately, Pokemon...
Retro is a good point, because Golden Sun needs more love. Just Golden Sun cross Zelda. Boom, done.
Yeah.
There you go.
But Pokemon have done a lot of weird spin-offs lately with, I can't even think of it. What's it called? Pokemon
Quest?
No, Pokemon Quest. Yeah,
Dragon
with
Quest
the island. No, with the weird island
Pokemon
game.
Gun.
But I was thinking about, like, that is drastically different than their typical games, and then they have, like, whatever I Choose You Pikachu or Hey You Pikachu on the Nintendo 64.
Hey, Pikachu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was a classic. Pokemon Snap is your on-rails shooter.
Technically, yeah.
Oh.
I guess it is. But
yeah, Pokemon Snap is mechanically similar to Star Fox, and I just want everyone to think about that for a while.
Daniel, did you just laugh so hard you decided to mute yourself? Is that what happened there?
I was gonna type something.
Oh.
And I mute myself when I'm gonna into the chat because my keyboard is just like. That actually wasn't my keyboard, but it just is loud.
Yeah.
But my joke took precedent here. I'm sorry.
I forgot the name
Jesse.
of it, but I've mentioned it a lot in the past. It's kind of like a Fire Emblem game, but it's got a completely different name. But it crossed over with Pokemon to where, like, you have like an ancient Japanese warrior person, and then there's like Pokemon as the side characters, and it's played as like a turn-based Fire Emblem type game. So like they've done really bizarre Pokemon spin-offs, and then recently the Mario had the turn-based RPG with Mario plus Rabbids. Yeah, almost forgot the name. So like I would kind of expect Zelda to be the next one to get some weird turn-based style game. Because as much as people want to call Zelda an RPG, it just has RPG elements. It's not necessarily an RPG. Like Call of Duty and Need for Speed and everything, like almost every single game has a way for you to level up something or unlock a new ability or a new item. And those are RPG mechanics. So it's like, just because they have, like, you wouldn't call Call of Duty an RPG, someone would look at you and be like, well, you're stupid, go away.
Yeah, like, that's not it.
Yeah,
Totally. I just realized something cool too with this whole RPG idea that we're running with, like really running with. It would be really neat to have a story, an RPG game where you build your own party that way, and Link is not your main character.
you have to rescue Link. That's the story.
Sure. Or I was thinking we could pull a Federation force and he's off doing something else. But you still he's off doing dungeons, but you got stuff happening in the world, and he's like 10 floors deep underground in some dungeon somewhere, and your village is being attacked. So I mean, you're not gonna just wait for him to show up, right?
Yeah.
So
I could see
yeah,
that.
like stuff still happens in the world while Link's busy doing stuff. So I don't know. It's and then maybe he's like the final character, joins your party and is super OP. So, I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas, but I also I don't know. People always like hate this kind of stuff. Like that was one of the concepts I really liked about Federation Force, was that it was a game set in the Metroid universe, and Samus was not the main character, because then you got to see like, what are all these Federation soldiers actually good for? What do they do while Samus is off doing stuff, right? So I don't know. It's just I don't think necessarily there was a lot of other things to praise about that game necessarily, either good or bad, but it was just kind of okay. But I never beat it, so I don't know. I never played it with friends either, so probably doesn't help. So I don't have friends to play with anyway. So.
I volunteer as friend. I'm coming over right now.
Right now?
Yep.
Nice.
But it could be really cool. I think people would probably be upset about it, but then it could still be a really fun game. So I don't know. I don't know, guys. Just throwing out some thoughts. I like that the 18-year-old Kayla is just staring over your shoulder.
She's become my parrot.
They've seen Kayla.
They've seen...
Because out of my two favorite moments that happened from E3, it's the bananas and their continuation, and they've seen dogs.
Yeah.
They've seen dogs.
No, it's great because like anytime I post like just a random banana or like a picture of me stabbing a banana, there's always someone who understands. Like there may be someone who comments and they're like, "What the crap's going on here? Why are you stabbing a banana?" But there's always the one person that's like, I know what's going on.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah. So I guess we can move on to the next thing, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So overall, Cadence of Hyrule. What's everyone's final thoughts, and how much do they think it's going to cost, or like how much would you pay for it?
I assume it'll list for $24.99.
I was gonna say 20.
eShop only. And I would pay 60.
You would pay 60? What?
Okay, like reasonably I could say like justify like $40-50 game for the game. I feel like depending on how long the actual gameplay is. But I genuinely think $25, $24.99 is what I genuinely think the price point's going to be.
Okay. Tubes?
$20 would definitely buy. I'm really cheap though. If it goes any higher than 30, I won't pay for it.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's got Zelda, I'll take two.
I'm like, ooh, games cost money. I budget maybe one every 2 or 3 months, depending on how I'm feeling.
I'll buy both versions of Pokemon. What?
Two totally different people. You can tell clearly by our backgrounds.
Yeah, one of us has a weird painting.
So, I just thought about. Do you guys
Leave her
remember?
alone, she's beautiful. Sorry, what?
Do you remember the Donkey Kong game on GameCube, where it's like the 2D side-scroll Donkey Kong Country type game, but you play with the bongos?
Right. I think Jungle Beat.
Yeah, Jungle Beat.
Yeah.
Like, would you play this game like that? Like, if there was some weird instrument it released with, like Deku drums or Goron, I don't know.
I feel like a peripheral like that would just undermine the whole appeal of it being on Switch.
Yeah.
For any game, basically. Like, even for me, like, Starlink's peripheral is fun at first, but pretty much once you, like, scan the ships in and stuff like that, I'm like, I don't want to use this to play the game because it's on the Switch. I want to take it and go lay in bed with my Switch and play it, or put it in and use my Pro Controller and play it, and I don't want those weird ship to be, I don't know, you know, so I feel like in the case of the Switch, the mass appeal is that you can play it on the TV like a regular console, or you can just pick it up and walk around the house or lie in bed and play it. I think most people just lie in bed and play it. And
did you
if
see?
you had a peripheral like musical instrument controller like the DK bongos, it would just undermine that appeal. And I probably could have just left that as one sentence instead of over explaining it. But
No, it's good.
but here
Retro
I go.
says, but imagine a DDR pad.
No. Retro?
I didn't even like DDR pads for DDR. So,
Yeah. No, it's
so-
I play DDR for my bed? No, not in.
No, I had a friend who would play Guitar Hero with the controller. So
like a.
I've played Halo with the guitar.
I really want to. You know what? I think I'm gonna get a set of DK bongos. Just see how many games I can actually get good at playing using.
is there only like 2 buttons on it? Like,
I think so. See if I can play Smash using that.
I don't even know how you play it. Is it like Mario Run, to where he just moves automatically and you gotta like hit the button to jump?
I think using the DK drums, you gotta like tap one way on the drum to go one way and tap one way to go the other way.
I
The
don't
left
even
bongo
understand.
makes you move left. The right bongo makes you move right.
That sounds so boring. Anyways,
It's no tropical freeze, that's for sure.
Guys.
there's no Cranky Kong. Yeah, so Twilight Princess reviews. Do you we can move on to
I've
it?
already picked my review.
Sweet.
Oh, hot dog! I gotta go looking.
Alright.
You're not allowed to pick the very last one. That one's mine.
Hey everyone, it's me again, Elia Rose. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. And you know what? If you're a fan of videos like this, you should totally subscribe and give this video a like and comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the GameOverJesse channel, please consider purchasing a GameOverJesse t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJesse, and much, much more.